Good evening, fans of Heartland Championship Wrestling, and welcome to the October 2010 edition of HCW Shoutout. I am your host, the Professor, bringing you this special preview show as we prepare for Heartland Havoc 35 all night long. Heartland Havoc will emanate from the U.S. Bank Arena in Cincinnati this Sunday night, October 31st. The main event at Havoc will be an intense showdown, an 8-man elimination tag team match pitting the members of the Pinnacle, Bradshaw, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, and Brody Lee against the team assembled by Dusty Rhodes, including Stan Hansen, Dick the Bruiser, and the Crusher. The war between the factions has been raging out of control since Rhodes and Hansen arrived in the Heartland. Most recently, the Crusher and Brody Lee had a major confrontation on Wednesday Night Warfare. The Crusher intercepted Lee in his effort to interfere in the Heartland Heavyweight Championship match. Lee was attempting to turn the match in favor of his employer Bradshaw, but the timely intervention of the Crusher kept Brody away from the ring and ultimately cost Bradshaw his shot at regaining the title. Bradshaw was furious, and he has sworn that his men will not only win this elimination match, but destroy Dusty Rhodes and anyone associated with him. These 8 men will attempt to tear each other apart at Havoc, and the results may not be pretty. Another Heartland tradition will come to culmination at Havoc with the finals of the Summer Tag Team Invitational. The British Bulldogs, Tradition Tag Team Champions, have dominated the competition and stand on the verge of adding the Invitational Championship to their impressive resume. The Bulldogs will face WCW's team of Abyss and Judas Macias at Havoc in a rematch of their semi-final bout. Abyss and Macias have brutalized their opponents throughout the tournament, but they met their match in the Bulldogs. Can Abyss and Macias rise to the occasion and topple the mighty Bulldogs? Or will the Bulldogs continue their dominance and capture the championship? The history between these teams has already begun, and both squads will be at peak intensity for this dramatic confrontation. The entire Federation of Legendary Promoters has been abuzz in recent weeks with the start of the FLW Heavyweight Championship tournaments. Heartland Championship Wrestling has been privileged to host 2 opening round matchups, and at All Night Long, we are pleased to present the quarterfinal matchup between the Japanese sensation Mitsuharu Misawa and the upstart challenger Diamond Dallas Page. Misawa was extremely impressive in his opening round match against Terry Gordy. These 2 warriors pounded the stuffings out of each other before Misawa finally prevailed with the Emerald Fusion. Page, on the other hand, shocked the fans in Columbus with an unexpected victory over the heavily favored Bird Gagne. It has been said that DDP is 1 diamond cutter away from any major championship. That breathtaking win over Gagne proved how dangerous Page can be, but he remains a decided underdog entering this matchup against Misawa. All Night Long will also feature 2 highly competitive title matches. The Heartland Combat Championship will be on the line in an intense rematch when the newly crowned champion Kurt Hennig defends the belt against the 2-time former champion Tito Santana. Hennig hopes to retain the combat title and aspires to use that belt as a stepping stone to the Heartland Heavyweight title, which he previously held. He has developed a loose affiliation with the Pinnacle, but you can be certain that Bradshaw and his men will be preoccupied with their own issues. So Hennig will likely go it alone against the man who put the Combat Championship on the map. These 2 tremendous athletes will hook it up once again this weekend at Havoc. The Heartland Ladies Championship will also be at stake in Cincinnati when the only 2 women to ever hold that belt will do battle once again. Cheerleader Melissa has kept a stranglehold on the ladies' title since she first took it from Sarah Del Rey many months ago. Melissa has annihilated the competition since that time, while Sarah has gone through some ups and downs. But Sarah has regained her edge and is ready to hit the mats for another shot at the gold. You won't find 2 tougher ladies anywhere on the planet, and you won't want to miss a second of the action when they collide again at All Night Long. Another special challenge match will take place at Havoc when Nigel McGuinness tempts fate by squaring off in a Russian chain match against Boris Zukov. The hostilities began when Nigel was assaulted by Zukov's partner Ivan Koloff during a match right here in Cincinnati. Koloff won that match largely due to the use of his steel chain, but Nigel fought back and inflicted a devastating knee injury on Koloff. In the wake of that incident, Zukov came after Nigel, only to suffer a beating from the fiery Englishman. It was actually Nigel who issued the challenge to Zukov for a chain match, which Boris quickly accepted. Perhaps Nigel has gotten in over his head, but he wants to humiliate Zukov, and a victory in a Russian chain match would be an embarrassment that the big Russian would carry for a lifetime. So, fans, that's our lineup for this Sunday's pay-per-view presentation of Heartland Havoc 35, all night long. You will want to catch every minute of every great match from Cincinnati. A Russian chain match pitting Boris Zukov against Nigel McGuinness. The renewal of a long-standing rivalry when cheerleader Melissa and Sarah Del Rey collide with the Heartland Ladies Championship on the line. A battle for the Combat Championship as Kurt Hennig defends the title against Tito Santana. The road to the FLW World Heavyweight Championship goes through the Heartland when Diamond Dallas Page meets up with Japanese legend Mitsuharu Misawa. The Summer Tag Team Invitational Championship match pitting the ferocity of the British Bulldogs against the brutality of Abyss and Judas Macias. And in the main event of the night, the all-out war between Dusty Rhodes and the Pinnacle explodes. An 8-man elimination tag team bout with Rhodes, Stan Hansen, Dick the Bruiser, and the Crusher taking on Bradshaw, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, and Brody Lee. You can bet your bottom dollar this will be a knockdown, drag-out, slobber knocker of a brawl when the hatred between these factions explodes in Cincinnati. Heartland Havoc 35 all night long will be a spectacular pay-per-view event, and it all takes place this Sunday night, October 31st, from the U.S. Bank Arena in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, fans, call your cable company now to catch all the exciting action or make the drive to see it live.